Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to do Patternless paper palette where I use no pattern paper. I'm also using 30 Days of Sketches, Christie's Beautiful Life Series 14 and this sketch from Claudia Henderson. And I'm also using my counterfeit kit challenge, only the embellishments though. And so I'm going to scrapbook these photos of my youngest, and this is from Easter quite a few years ago. And I'm going to double map my cardstock in this green color, which is very similar to her nightgown. I'm cutting off 1 inch of both sides, so that's 11 inches on the inside. And then I'm going to gut this green paper because I don't have very many of them and I like this color. So I'm going to put the edge at 10 and I'm going to cut 2 to 10 with my cutter. And that gives me an 8x8 inside square piece, but enough paper on the border to give me enough of structure so that it doesn't feel floppy. So I'm going to ink up both of the edges in black just to add a little bit more definition. And then I'm going to get this on right away. There ends up being about a 1/2 inch all the way around of that green, and I really like that. And then these photos based on the sketch go kind of like this, but I have these 3 on the bottom that are going to end up in a flap. So I'm going to use the cutest one of her doing her egg hunt on top. The other 2 aren't imperative to the story, but they're there and they're super cute. So I'm going to use these acetate pieces are from a hip kit club and they're called mandalas. I'm going to use them kind of like patterns on Easter eggs, and I like the color that it gives, and why not? And then these are also cardstock pieces for ephemera from Hip Kit Club as well. That's hard to say today. It's hard to say most days. So I'm going to pull out the Easter stuff in both of these because I have lots of Easter stuff in both of these ones. And look at all the pieces I have left. So I'm going to use a fair chunk of them today, which is awesome. Makes me super happy. So that phrase that just went up top says somebody loves you. I'm kind of putting them in where I think they might go. Very little that stays where it is actually at right now, but that's called the fussing part of things. So I thought I was going to use just a cardstock strip to do my flip flap, but I wanted it to have a little more structure. So I'm just going to use a piece of cardstock that's a little bit longer, and I'm going to do a flap. And my scoreboard is not in my room, and my scoreboard piece of my cutter is not on my cutter right now, so I used a palette knife. And so on the top of that flap is going to go my first picture. This is the one you're going to see, and then the other 2 are going to go inside. So this bottom one and the top one do need a little bit of trimming to make them fit properly, which is fine. I also didn't cut this one very straight. I don't know what I was doing, but I wanted it a little bit better for being straight. So that one's going to go here. And then my other one is going to get connected to the picture on top with a little bit of a white border in between. And so then that works. And then I'm just going to trim down so that anything that is visible is now not. And there we go for the flap book or the flip book. I don't know. I thought of using one of those eggs for like a little tab, but the tab would be really weird on the other side because these are not symmetrical. Eggs are not. So I decided no right away. And so just kind of setting stuff up. It's all going to change yet again. I thought the bunny on the top could jump through the Easter wreath, but it's not going to. Then I put the basket up here, and I don't like the basket up here because it's hanging out and it looks like it's kind of floating. I don't want it floating. I looked in my Simple Story, Simple Vintage to see if there's anything in here I'd want to add. I could have. There are the right colors. I just didn't feel anything that, didn't really feel it. So I'm going to pop some of these around in some different places. They're not going to stay this way yet either. But I think it's important you see some of the different ways this ends up going. So I like that jumpy bunny right above her head. I think that's kind of fun. It's going to get auditioned in a couple other places, but I like the basket down here now. That works pretty good. And then I know that there's 2 tags on the layout. So I did pull out these cut apart tags. I'm just looking for something that's about the right size because this was from a piece of pattern paper. I want to use it. So I'm going to cut out this piece of cardstock, which has been embossed with a Spellbinders 3D embossing folder. And I used it on a card a couple weeks back. I didn't record it, but it was for our Nana's 90th birthday. So I thought maybe I'd use a colored reinforcer. I didn't like that. I'm going to cut out the second one right away because I definitely am going to use these ones. The green is just a little bit different, but that's okay. I'm going to ink this up. And so I do the edges, and then with this foam brush, I very gently do the raised parts. And then you can see the hearts, and it makes it stand out a little bit more. Looks a little dark on the video screen, but it actually isn't too dark in real life. It's funny how that happens sometimes. So I do the same thing with the second one. And then I'm going to take a paintbrush and I'm just going to ink around the tag hole to give it a little bit of dimension too. And there we go. And so then I decided this one was a little too long, so I cut off a little bit of it just so that there wasn't all of that extra chocolate bunny box. And then I was debating on what color to mat these in. So I thought maybe the green, white, and a black, but I wasn't quite sure. The white and the black would have looked really nice, but I decided to go with a black here. I pulled out some ribbon in the meantime that would match, and I am not going to make you watch me back all of these because it's not needed. So it's just cutting paper. This one that I'm putting down, what I was going to put down, the cardstock doesn't go all the way to the bottom on the smaller one with her basket. So I'm going to get this one down right away, and then it helps me get the other ones on. And this one's kind of a goofy picture with her eyes closed, but I know she's a goofy sort of kid. Also backed the flip flap in black so that there was some continually, so it was consistent. I was trying to say a different word, but it wasn't coming out. So in that corner, you can see right there where I was trying to put that egg right there covers up the piece of the photo that doesn't have cardstock on it. So that works out okay. Getting some of these acetate pieces around. Trying this basket in a couple different spots. I thought maybe hiding the happy spring, but I don't like that. I just pop that down just a little bit, and now I'm going to glue it and actually commit to a few things. So that first acetate piece I glued, I didn't cut in half, and then I went, I should cut these in half because I'll have more to go around things with. So then almost there. So I like that. And so I am going to go with the glue and then watch me make a mistake. I was going to put the purple one there with the heart, and I put the blue one there instead, but I don't like how the basket interacts with the purple one. So the glue is still wet enough, I can switch them. Yay. Oh, like fuss a lot today. There's also a little piece of where I put that acetate in by that tag. There's a little piece of glue. So I am going to try and cover that up. So I thought maybe the bunny, but then he looks like he's floating. I don't want him to float. Decided to put the ribbon in my tag. And so this ribbon is really strange. It's very, very straight. So it's gonna sit there for a minute. I will fix it later. And I'm gonna put the ribbon in this other tag before I glue it down. Imagine that. It's so much easier when it's not already glued down. And so it's gonna slide there. And then looking at this bottom again, move this bunny around. I am still trying to, like, that corner where I just put that bunny I tried to put has a glue spot that I definitely need to cover. So I tried the bunny over down here, and I don't mind him there, but he's looking off the page and I definitely want him to look at my kiddo. So I left him there for a second and decided, no, I'm going to try it again. He's cute with the eggs, but I just don't like him there. But I do like him there. So I'm going to get him up on foam adhesive right away so I can't change my mind again. So on he goes. And then I'm going to deal with this bottom corner. So I'm going to cut the acetate in half, and I'm going to use the orangey pink one with the orangey pink egg words. Goodness gracious me. And then just a little bit of Nuvo glue on that, on the egg. And the egg I want overlapping onto the outside color border piece. The green piece is going to go there. Add a little more Nuvo so it doesn't flap up. This Somebody Loves You works really well here. There's a little bit of a hole there that I am going to fill. But I'm making decisions because I really don't need to do this any longer than I did. So the bottom part of the wreath is going to go up. Not there, right there. It's going to go right there. But then I don't actually like where I put the top part of that wreath, which is behind that tag. So I do like this green piece down here. So that works. But pulled that off. Gonna get this on. Gonna get the tag glued in. This is gonna go right here by this tag, and now that hides that glue spot. Thinking about where to put this one, I think it's gonna overlap. I think I want this bunny up here somewhere, but I'm gonna put some more acetate pieces on. This gets adhesive foam, and it's going to overlap the picture just a tiny bit, and I like that. That blue one's going to go there. I'm going to hide this egg right in there, which fills out that cluster just a little bit. It gets a little piece of acetate underneath too to fill that hole a little bit. And I like that. And now I'm going to fill up some of these pieces with some more of this color acetate, cutting them in half so I can use them in more than one spot, which really helps because they're kind of rainbow colored anyway, so they don't look like they're the same kind of one. And auditioning it into a couple different spots. I like how those ones are, so I'm going to get them down right away. And this one, I thought maybe underneath there, but I like it up here by the tag, going in the other direction. So that worked out really well. I have this bunny to get on the page, and he's going to go in this corner with some adhesive foam. That's super cute. And then deal with these ribbon pieces. So they just gets a little bit of glue. And I'm going to put my glue bottle on top here in a second. Try to cut with my not so friendly fabric scissors. They are great paper scissors. And so those are done. And then I'm going to put some enamel dots on. These ones I didn't like. They were too different, too blue. But I did pull out these Prima ones, and it has a green that's very similar to the tag in the outside border. So I'm going to sprinkle those in 3 different spots. And then those are all done. Then I ended up with only 2 up there. And so I'm going to put a pink one because there's lots of pink on here too. And then I'm going to put a pink one down there too. And that works well enough for me. And then I'm going to pull out from this Jen Hadfield a couple of bees and some hearts. And so the bees, because this little one is called Busy Bee, is her nickname. So she gets bees on hers. And whenever I can. And 3 hearts. I'm going to pull off all of the gold hearts. And so 1 goes there and fills up that hole. 1 goes above these 2 eggs, and the 3rd one goes by this bee. And this one is done, so there'll be some close-ups here. There'll also be some still shots to follow. Here's that flap. And here's some close-ups. You can see that texture on that tag really well. Some close-ups of those, just the different clusters. If you liked my video today, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to me yet, I would love to have you here. And there will be a couple of videos and a playlist waiting for you if you so want to watch some more. Here's the subscribe and the playlist. Have yourself a great day. Thanks for watching.